get somebody to like me. You know what I mean?
It shouldn't have
It should be just organic.
flow naturally.
Just flow naturally. Yeah. That's right.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Ready to Love. We're going to talk specifically about Denise today, the Nubian queen, and discuss about also her energy that she brings to the competition. Guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, you share, subscribe, click on the bell button for a notification of the uploads. And for those of you returning as well, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, cool. Let's get into the video. So watching Ready to Love season 3 episode 2. I picked out Denise and a few others to discuss today, but we're going to speak about Denise first and foremost. Watching Denise, I love her confidence. I love her poise. I love that she brings an elegance. I love that she's strong as well. You know what I mean? And I love the fact that, she's a table shaker. Listen, she says what she wants and does what she wants.
2 people are going home tonight.
That's what I can say. But I want to analyze some things, because as much as I appreciate her confidence, I believe that there is a part of her which is going to need to open if she's going to progress through the competition without causing hysterics, drama, and a madness. What do I mean by that? Well, I think in the very first episode I spoke to you guys and said that her past experience of dealing with men who've might have abused her, or the last relationship where it almost killed her. What can happen to somebody is that when you recover, you can go into a place where you go and overcompensate. So you've been hurt so badly that now you calcify your emotions and you calcify your heart.
Are you tough exterior, or I feel like soft inside?
I'm soft inside, but I'm tough on the outside. Like, don't try to play me.
So you make sure that you're impregnable and impenetrable, right? So your confidence, as she said herself, my ego's on 10, my heart's on 10, my height's on 5'10", and it's like, I hear that. But the way that sometimes she speaks, there's a confidence that comes with it, there's an energy that comes with it, and then it goes a little bit beyond, where it becomes a little bit overbearing. And I think one of the guys mentioned it himself. I think it was Rashid, and we'll discuss that, and I'm going to analyze their interaction in another video, where it becomes aggressive. Okay, and I think what's clear with Denise is that if she likes you, she likes you. If she doesn't like you, you're gonna see it, right? And I felt like, and it may be just me, even when she's saying hi to the girls.
You doing? Looking pretty.
I can get my own.
Like that dress.
Excuse me. Thank you. Denise.
Alicia,
pretty.
Thank you.
It didn't seem real. It almost seemed a little bit fake. Like, you know what I'm saying? For me, anyway. And maybe that I'm reading too much into it. But, and the funny thing is that as I look at Denise, beautiful, dark-skinned woman, and I love it. But what I don't love is almost the energy that's feeding into the narrative that they've already supplied to us dark-skinned people, is that we're aggressive, loud, obnoxious, etc., etc., etc. Do you get me? And so when I see her sometimes in, some of the conversations that she had, especially with Rashid, I felt like she was accusing him of arrogance, and I was looking at her like, girl, you are arrogant. Look what you're doing. Somebody, you see, to have poise and to have elegance and to have a royalty about you, a regalness about you, requires absolute humility. Okay, and we're going to discuss this in another video, and I talk about Adriana. Adriana has a poise, but there seems to be some humility behind it. So as much as she knows she's a beautiful girl, as much as she knows she's a attractive girl, there seems to be some humility in the interaction that I've seen in this episode. I already told you that she's very competitive, Adriana. But with Denise, I felt like almost like you're competing with the boys. Like her interaction with Rashid, it was like she was competing with him. Yet when she got one-to-one with Kalafani, because she found him attractive and found him a good-looking guy, they went deep into a deep conversation, right? Now, I'm sure they probably cut a lot of things out because evidently they want to perform a narrative, all right? So I'm kind of feeding into that narrative a little bit as well by saying what I'm saying. But I felt like some of her things were slightly overconfident, slightly overbearing, and I didn't like it. And I think it started to show on some of the people that were interacting with her, per se. I think there's nothing wrong with being confident. I think you should be. yeah, but don't let your confidence go onto the verge of arrogance. And it's a very thin line to have that line. It's a very thin line. I think most women on the show, on this show particularly, are very confident, very bold, and very ostentatious. But you've got to be very careful about the line that you step over. You know, don't act like you're above people, because that will show itself in your interactions. And I felt like that's what Denise was bringing to the table. And so again, I make that distinction that when it came to Kalafani, we saw a more endearing side of her, right? We saw her, pretty much put her feet
Leave those here
You sure can.
and just
up on the brother, you know. And so we see this a bit more caring side of Denise, where she gets to expose a more vulnerable side of her and her emotions, and talk about her experiences with Kalafani. And Kalafani himself is interesting, because I feel like what you see is just this big macho muscly man, and you're probably expecting this alpha male dominant trait of just lack of emotional intelligence and maybe not too much deep conversation, right? But what you get with Kalafani is this mixture. And I think it starts first of all with his clothing that he wears. He was wearing a shirt, it was like a t-shirt, wearing jeans, and then these loafer shoes. And I thought, wow, man's coming like he's coming to a sports bar and coming to have 1 or 2 drinks with the lads. You know what I mean? Like, but that's the way he dressed. He just almost, I wouldn't even say smart casual, cash. It was cash. Cash with shoes. Cash with smart shoes. You know what I mean? And for me, that spoke a lot about it. I think even Denise wearing white spoke a lot, you know, because it's your first time, your first impression wearing a white dress. It's that pureness, that purity, that heavenly look, you know what I'm saying? That holy look, right? And it's interesting because that's a contrast to what she's experienced in life, you know? And so almost that white dress almost kind of speaks to where she wants to be, almost like, you know, when you have it's almost like it's the white represents not being tainted, but when you're in this world, there's things that happen to us that taint our soul, you know. And so what she experienced, almost dying, I felt like that maybe that experience of almost dying and almost being hurt by the opposite sex has pushed her to the opposite side, which is like, I'm gonna live life to the fullest, and I'm gonna take what I want, do what I want, which is calm. But then there has to be this, you have to have a boundary where you go, okay, I hear you. And actually, you know, I want to be able to just reel some things in, you know what I mean? And just be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna make sure I have a line here. And I felt like there wasn't there's just got to be a line for you. You know what I mean? Like, so you don't cross it. I get the energy. I get the bravado. But when it becomes almost egotistical, you're now moving on the scale of men, and men will find that men will find it like you're trying to rub up against them, and they will not buy it. And I'm going to put a prediction here. I don't think her and Kalafani are going to last. Personally, I don't think so. Just because I feel like in the interaction between Kalafani and her, I want to just break down some stuff that happened between them. It was a really interesting conversation, and the reason why it was interesting is because with Kalafani, the first thing is they sit down and she puts her feet on his legs, right? Real comfortable. Now I know he said he lacks her energy, but I'm telling you, I think this is going to backfire in a later run, right? She's too comfortable. Like, get to know me, but the feet up already, too comfortable. I think this is going to play against her later on in the show. Not for now. Later on in the show, right? I know she confessed that she thinks he's really good looking, really fine, and so
he's just downright fine. He's fine.
you see that her behavior here is different. Look at how her body language is towards Kalafani, facing him, legs on him, eye contact, yeah, having open dialogue and conversation. Yeah, and she made a very good point about how she doesn't want to have to work for someone to like her, and I agree that we shouldn't be in a place where we're trying to work for someone's affection. Listen, either you like me, you don't like me. Which one do you like me or not? Do you like me or do you not like me? It's very simple. Let's not make it long. If you don't like me, it's all right. Marmite, it's not liked by everybody. You understand? We like what we like. And then obviously, what was interesting was that I don't know if he was scared of her presence and her enigma and her energy, or whether he was scared a little bit because of what she was bringing to the table was a bit heavy. And his way, he was like, so what?
Right.
What's your experience been like? What was your last relationship like?
The way he kind of fumbled a little bit on the words, right? When he was with Joy, though, you didn't see that. In the very beginning, when he was talking to Joy, there was none of that.
Joy.
Nice to meet you, Joy.
Nice to meet you
Kalafani.
too. Very
You
nice.
look amazing.
Thank you so much. Getting away from home is great because I can just
None of that. And I think the reason why is because the way that Joy's energy is, he just felt comfortable. He weren't stressing. Plus, they were the first ones around. I don't think he was not stressing. He was not trying to find words to say to her. Do you get what I'm saying? But I think with Denice, she commands a certain level of energy from you, right? Don't, like she said,
You gotta come with your A game, boo.
so maybe he sensed that energy coming, like you better come correct or don't come at all. And so now that makes you a bit nervous because now you have to really think about your game. And I'm like, whew. You know, and so that's why I was like, oh, okay, he's stuttering over his words. He wasn't doing that with Joy in the beginning. When he was with Joy, I think because Joy also made some really open compliments about, you look good, your arms look nice, your dimples look nice, da da da. I don't know, maybe he's thinking about it too much. I'm not sure, right? But I love the fact that, you know, Denice was vulnerable here. She was vulnerable and not to a point where she overshared. What I mean by that is that she said, okay, look, my last relationship was like this. Almost killed me, da 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 da. But here's what I learned. And so when she said that, I said, good. She didn't dwell on it too long. She gave him a taster of what she's experienced, but she didn't go too deep. You know, some people go too deep too early with certain people. It's not everyone you can go that deep with early on. Let me be very frank with you. If you are dating, you have to monitor and you have to take into account, is this person worthy enough? And so I say worthy, willing enough. Do they have listening ears to be able to take in what you're saying? Because me, if you speak to me, yeah, let me be very frank with you. If you speak to me on the very first day, you can tell me your whole life and I'll never look at you differently. And the reason why is because I love to listen. I love to hear people's stories. It's not a judgment thing for me. If you tell me too early, I'm not about to run away. It's not too heavy for me because of the way that I've experienced life and what I'm about. Right? I'd rather know everything now than try to drag it on. But that's just me. But I know a lot of people aren't like that. So when you tell them too much too soon, what you've done is you began to drag them deep into an emotional place, and they haven't had time to bring themselves there naturally. And so now they feel like they're being forced. This is why when you talk about your experiences and they're very deep and heavy too soon to a lot of people, they run away because what they run away from is that you're dragging emotions out of me already about dragging emotions out of me to care for you, because this is a very serious situation. I got to start caring now, yeah, and you're dragging me too early into that place of emotions. I don't want to be there just yet.
Honestly, my last relationship was a doozy. I was in a domestic violence situation where I almost lost my life.
And so a lot of people run away from certain people who do those kind of things, right? So just be very careful. If you're one of those people that have got a deep story, just be very wise in who you're going to release that information to, because like I said, let the person say a little bit, let them drag you a little bit deeper, you drag them a little bit deeper. Do you know what I mean? Don't just go all the way down into the mine shaft, because it won't do you any favors if the person's not ready to hear that kind of stuff. Are
you tough exterior or you? I feel like soft inside.
I'm soft inside.
I'm just going to show you something to just prove what I'm talking about, dragging someone too deep into the emotional world. Kalafani says, he admitted that was he deeply connected, and I'm going to talk about that as well. But he said, are you tough on the exterior or soft on the inside? And this is what I call a baited question. What he's doing is gathering information, collecting data, yeah? And what he's doing here, he throws a question out. Are you tough on the outside? Yeah, because what I'm hearing from you right now, okay, it sounds like you got walls up. It sounds like you got guard up. And the man has to think to himself, are you worthy of my time to want to go past these walls? Are you worthy of that time? He's got to make a decision. And so now when she says, I am soft on the inside, but I'm tough on the outside too. So she reinforces the toughness, the strong black woman. It's not positive here. The strong black woman here is not positive. You got to be strong, but you can't. The tough exterior. Remember the Pokemon Metapod? If you don't remember, don't worry. It's like when you've got a hardened exterior, what you're asking for me is to penetrate that hard exterior, and that takes energy and time, and it takes tools and resources. And therefore, a guy has to think to himself, do I want this? And that's what I said to you. In the long term, I don't know how much he's going to want of Denice. Because in the short term, it's okay. But in the long term, when you have to deal with certain issues like this, you're not allowing me to enjoy you. I'm now having to enjoy plus break down and do work. You know what I mean? Right? And so that question was a baited question. And so when she said, obviously, don't play me, okay, that is what we call from her the warning shot. Kalafani, I am beautiful. I am strong. I'm a black woman. I like you. I find you attractive. But let me tell you something straight. Don't play me. Right? I get the scissors out kind of talk. Right? And let me tell you something. That is not going to help in this case. I'll be very frank. When dark skin, and I'm going to say this very frank because I want to be very clear, we have an issue with the way that we view dark skinned women and light skinned women. Dark skinned women, whenever there is a presence, and this dark skinned men as well, whenever there's a presence of aggressiveness, it is multiplied by 100. The way it's viewed and perceived due to the way the media portrays us black people. So when you say, don't try play me, you're going into crazy mode. Yeah, and for Kalafani, I already know that's not gonna work for him. Do you know why I know that? Because you're wearing that t-shirt and you're wearing them jeans and you're wearing them smart shoes with it. The guy just is cash. That's why he can get on with. That's why he can get on with Danny. So that when he can get on with Danny and have a laugh and a banter, even though it's homie, I could automatically say that this guy's got a different side to him, right? So that whole darkness that you're bringing ain't gonna work for him long term. It's not gonna work for him long term. Right? He thinks you're beautiful. He thinks you're a gorgeous girl, but the darkness is not going to work for him long term. And so here, that don't play me is the scissor sign to say, listen, I will cut a guy up if you play me. And that warning sign don't work for a lot of brothers because what you're saying is I'm crazy. Yeah, it's
inside, but I'm tough on the outside. Like, don't try to play me.
not cute, this one, right? When it's a Latino girl saying don't trust me, it's all sexy then, right? Because of the way the media have portrayed what is aggressive, what's femininity. Yeah, so this won't work in your favor. It don't look it don't look sexy sassy. You know what I mean? Sassy don't look good on dark skinned women because of the way the media have portrayed it. Even though sassy is made to be sexy on a Latino girl or Latin American type of gal or white girl who's got a bit of sassy, it's okay. As soon as dark skinned women do it, yeah, it's no longer attractive. This is it. This is what happens because of what they've taught us. So now that whole don't play me, it's going to lose our points in the long run, man. So with her and Kalafani, I can see that they had a deep conversation. They connected mentally and emotionally a little bit as well. And so that's going to be there. But it's going to be how she's going to navigate this course now. How are you going to go about conversations with Kalafani in future? Are you going to keep that whole tough exterior or are you going to actually break those walls down? And I don't know. This competition exposes people who have got walls up. This competition will expose those who've got walls up because you will see another guy with another girl. It will hurt you. And you think they're playing you. So it is what it is. So guys, make sure you like, you share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications. Watch part 2. We're going to talk about Rashid and Denise as well. Appreciate you guys to locked, stay loaded.